Good morning, Redbud Room. Today I'm going to be reading Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. And this book was given to us from Miss Erin Gould. Her son Graham used to be in my class. And I want to thank all the families who have given us books from the book fair. And even some of the books we've read have been from our families at the Redbud Room. So we thank you so much. Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. What I really like about this book is once they identify the leader and what they're known for, at the very bottom, after they write their years of life, they write where they're from, and it really has a variety of leaders from around the world, and so that's really very cool. United Kingdom. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Ada who loved machines. She also loved the idea of flying. She studied birds to work out the perfect balance between wing size and body weight. She tested out materials and tried out several designs. She never managed to soar like a bird, but she created a beautiful book full of drawings called Flyology, where she recorded all of her findings. One night, Ada went to a ball. There she met a grumpy old mathematician named Charles Babbage. Ada was a brilliant mathematician herself, and the two soon became good friends. Charles invited Ada to see a machine he had invented. He called it the difference engine. It could automatically add and subtract numbers. No one had ever done that before. Can you think of a machine that automatically adds or subtracts numbers? Bet you did. Ada was hooked. What if we built a machine that could make more complicated calculations, she said. Excited, Ada and Charles started working. The machine was huge and it required an enormous steam engine. Ada wanted to go further. What if this machine could play music and show letters as well as numbers? She was describing a computer. Way before modern computers were invented, Ada wrote the first computer program in history. And the quote is, "That brain of mine is something more than merely mortal, as time will show." Ada Lovelace, and there's an illustration. And it says supermodel. Alec Week. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Alec who would stop by a mango tree to get a snack on her way home from school. Oh, let me read where she's from, Sudan. I wanted to make sure we got that. I love mangoes too. In Alec's village, there was no running water nor electricity. She had to walk to a well for drinking water, but she and her family lived a simple and happy life. Then a terrible war broke out, and Alec's life changed forever. As the warning sirens wailed over their village, Alec and her family had to run away from the fighting. It was the rainy season. Does anyone know what the rainy season is often called in countries? Monsoon. The bridges across it, the river had flooded, the bridges across it were underwater, and Alec could not swim. She was terrified of drowning, but her mom helped her to cross safely to their side. Along the way, Alec's mom traded packets of salt for food and passports because they didn't have any money. They managed to escape from the war and made their way to London. One day, she was in a park when a talent scout from a famous modeling agency approached her. He wanted to recruit Alec as a model. Alec's mother did not want to hear about it, but the agent persisted, and she finally agreed. Alec looked so different from any other model that she instantly became a sensation. Alec wants every girl on the planet to know, you are beautiful. It's okay to be quirky. It's fine to be shy. You don't have to go with the crowd. I'd love if someone researched her and sent me a report if you're interested. Oh, there's someone from Cuba. This one's a cyclist from Italy. Alfonsina Strada, cyclist from Italy. Once there was a girl who could ride a bike so fast that you could barely see her. "Don't go so fast, Alfonsina," her parents would scream. Too late, she had already whizzed past. When she got married, her family hoped that she would finally give up this crazy idea of being a cyclist. Instead, on her wedding day, her husband gifted her a brand new racing bike. They moved to Milan, and Alfonsina started to train professionally. She was so fast and so strong that a few years later, she entered a race, one of the toughest rounds in the world. I think it's the Giro d'Italia. No other woman had ever attempted it before. She'll never make it, people said, but nobody could stop her. The race was long and strenuous, with 21-day-long stages along some of the steepest mountains roads in Europe. Of the 90 cyclists who started out, only 30 made it across the finish line. Alfonsina was one of them. She was the greatest. The next year, she was barred from competing. It is a men's competition race, the officials declared, but that didn't stop her either. She raced all the same, and she set a speed record that stood for 26 years, even though she rode a 44-pound one-gear bike. She would be happy to know that things have changed a lot since then. Now women's cycle racing is hugely popular and even an Olympic sport. And her quote is, "Nobody can stop my bike." And this famous leader is from Cuba. Alicia Alonso, ballerina. Once upon a time, there was a blind girl who became a great ballerina. Her name was Alicia. Alicia grew up sighted and was already a wonderful, could be Alicia or Alicia. This beautiful ballerina with a great career ahead of her. Can someone research her and let me know? I would love to know if it's Alicia or Alicia. It's Alicia, but I'd love to hear it from you what the proper pronunciation is. Her eyesight got worse and worse. She was forced to stay in bed for months without moving, but Alicia had to dance. So she danced in the way only she could. I danced in my mind, blinded, motionless, flat on my back. I taught myself to dance, Giselle. One day, the New York City Ballet's prima ballerina injured herself. They called Alicia to step in. She was already partially blind, but how could she say no? The ballet was Giselle. As soon as she started to dance, the audience fell in love with her. Alicia danced with grace and confidence, even though she could barely see. She trained her partners to be exactly where she needed them at just the right time. Her style was so unique that she was asked to dance with the ballet company all over the world. But her dream was to bring classical ballet to Cuba, her home country. Back from her travels, she started to teach classical ballet to Cuban dancers. She founded the Alicia Alonso Ballet Company, which later became the Ballet Nacional de Cuba. Her quote is, "A dancer should learn from all the arts." I wanted to, Dr. Montessori was toward the back. I just want to jump to her. Page 116. Maria Montessori, physician and educator. Once upon a time, it's really interesting how people research her, explain her teachings. There was a teacher who worked with disabled children. Her name was Maria, and she was also a doctor. So it's interesting they put the teacher first and the doctor, because Montessorians would put doctor first, and then teacher was really a secondary finding. Instead of applying old teaching methods, Maria watched the children to see how they learned. In her school, children were not forced to do what the teacher told them to do. They could move about freely and choose whatever activity they loved the most. Maria's innovative techniques proved to be very effective with disabled children, so she decided to open a school for all children and apply the same teaching methods. She called her school the Children's House. For the Children's House, Maria invented child-sized furniture, small light chairs that children could move around easily, low shelves so they could reach things without needing a grown-up. Maria also invented toys that encouraged children to discover the world in very practical and independent ways. In her classes, children discovered how to button and unbutton their shirts, how to carry a glass of water without spilling it, how to lay the table by themselves. Children should be taught to be self-sufficient, she said. If they know how to tie their shoes and how to dress themselves, they will feel the happiness that comes from independence. Maria Montessori's method is applied in thousands of schools, and it helps children all over the world grow strong and free. And she's from Italy. Never help a child with a task at which she feels she can succeed. Maria Montessori. And I'm going to remind you that in our Google Classroom, there is an attachment for suggestions at home, what you can do to practice practical life. I'm sure you're already doing it because you're home already and helping your parents out. But there are many practical life activities that you can do. Anything you would do just in your general day that just helps you organize and be responsible and self-sufficient. And there's an attachment on our Google page for suggestions on what else you can do at home and for parents to remind you that you can do at home. So please visit our Google Classroom for suggestions on what you can do at home. In addition to any research you're doing, please go ahead and just send me the pictures and the photos instead of uploading them to our Google Classroom. But feel free to use the Flipgrid if you want to make an instructional video. And I do believe we have some read-alouds from parents this week. So some of our read-alouds this week will be from our parents instead of me for our guest book reader for March's Reading Month. So thank you, parents, for those of you who have sent me the videos of you reading. It's really cool that we can all stay connected during this time, because that's my goal, is to stay connected with you, because I love you and I miss you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Joe, can you turn it off?